that lets you interview the biggest names in rock and roll. How you doing? I'm Steve Downs. Rockline is brought to you by Naturally Brewed Lipton Original Iced Tea. This ain't no sippin' tea. By Pennzoil Motor Oil. And by AT&T, we help put your world within reach. Tonight, Rockline is very pleased to be live in Miami tonight with Stone Temple Pilots. If you got a question for the band, be sure to call our toll-free number right now, 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in North America. Well, perhaps the Charles Dickens line from A Tale of Two Cities might best describe the past year for Stone Temple Pilots. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Their debut album has sold over 4 million copies, won a Grammy, 2 American Music Awards, 2 Billboard Awards. Stone Temple Pilots was voted Best New Band and Best New Male Singer in Rolling Stone's 1993 Readers' Poll. And yet the pressures of that kind of success and the sometimes vicious critical attack by the music press was almost overwhelming. Fortunately, they took the positive and negative energy, channeled it back into the writing and recording of the new album Purple, which has spent the first 2 weeks of its life at #1 on the charts. We are here with lead vocalist Weiland and bass guitarist Robert DeLeo in Miami tonight, where they will launch their nationwide tour this coming Thursday. And we welcome back Stone Temple Pilots. Weiland, welcome back to Rockline. Great to have you here.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Good.
Robert, it's good to have you here. Heel. The last year and a half has certainly, if anything at all, has been an interesting year, I'm sure, for you guys. Would you say that you've developed, or was it necessary to develop a thicker skin as a result of what's happened to you in the last year and a half?
Well, I think, trying to put it in a nutshell, we toured the first record for about a year and a half straight. So for quite some time, we really weren't aware of everything that was going on outside of the band, you know, people's perceptions of us and all that. We were pretty much just sort of into our own little, bubble, When it got to the point where we stopped touring, a lot of, like you said, you have the negative crowd, the positive stuff. I think we reached a point where we needed to sort of step back and put some perspective on our lives and what we were doing musically and what our relationships were within the four of us, because we love each other very much, but just like any relationship, whether it's with your lover or your mother, father, or your cat, there's, whatever, gerbil, whatever. Things got strained for a while, and we kind of dissipated a little bit, but then when it came down to the point of making the next record, I think for our own individual reasons, it was just a do-or-die situation, a very important thing, something we had to do, and through those circumstances, through that experience of making the album, and then taking a little bit of time off after making the album, we were able to sort of get back to the original idea and the original feeling and the original passion of why we fell in love with making music together in the first place.
Robert, if you had to pick a song or a couple of songs maybe on Purple that sort of summarizes the feeling of the band, what songs would come to mind on the new album?
That's really hard because each song has its own individual meaning, but I think as a whole, it's just a lot of different emotions we were going through. There's nothing more to really say about it than just what's there.
What's there. One of the songs that sort of jumped out at me, and I think you all had a hand in writing it, was the song that we're going to play first here tonight. Stone Temple Pilots on Rockline. This is called Vaseline. Flush from Stone Temple Pilots, who are with us on Rockline tonight. Back to the phones now. And a special custom beginning and ending to Vaseline from Stone Temple Pilots from the new album Purple.
Actually, that was the Trent Reznor remix.
Is that right? There you go. An exclusive, if you will. We're live from Miami, Florida tonight, spending 90 minutes with Weiland and Robert from Stone Temple Pilots. If you'd like to talk to these guys, call us now. Our toll-free AT&T number is 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. Rockline and AT&T, we help put your world within reach.
All three.
We are back live in Miami with Robert and Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots. Before we hit the phones, we'd like to say hello to some of the folks listening to us in the Sunshine State tonight. Rock 104 WRUF in Gainesville, Rock 100 WDIZ in Orlando, 96 K-Rock in Fort Myers, Naples, just to name a few. We look forward to hearing from you folks tonight and every Monday night on Interactive Radio Rockline. We head to the phones now. Our first stop, Austin, Texas. Nick is listening to KLBJ FM 94 in Austin. Nick, you're on with Stone Temple Pilots.
Hi.
Hi.
How long and where did you record this album, Purple?
Hi, this is Scott Weiland you're talking to. Well, how long did it take us?
Yeah.
It took us about 3 weeks because we couldn't stand to be around each other any longer. No, seriously, it took us about 3 weeks, and we recorded it in a little studio outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Our producer is from the area there, and it just seemed like a good environment, you know. Making records in New York City or making records in Hollywood is always full of a bunch of crap, you know. You got these record exec people coming down to see if the stuff you're making is hit-worthy or whatever, and we just sort of wanted to be in our own environment and make music.
Yeah. Nick, thanks for getting us started. We're going to talk to Leo now, who is listening to 105 FM WXQR in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Hey, Leo.
How's it going?
How's it going?
How's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing,
All right,
Leo?
let's see. Well, it's kind of like a two-parter. One is, what do you think of the state of today's rock and roll? And I've heard there might be some B-sides floating around. Any, chance of someday putting some of those out?
This is Robert. The state of rock and roll, I mean, just being involved in it on this level for 2 years now, I personally think it's to the point where it's gotten really silly. Something that started out so pure as just making your music, you find when you get to a point, you really, it turns into a circus, and there's just a lot of things that come in contact with that purity, and I think you just got to kind of maintain the real reason why you were involved in music. And as far as the B-side thing, we actually did a Beach Boys song, and what else did we do?
We've recorded a couple little things from bands that, from the past or from the present that have inspired us. Some of it acoustically, and possibly in the future in Robert's bathroom, we might record a couple other songs. A lot of times those B-side songs that you're speaking of don't come out in America because record companies don't seem to think that they generate much money, and as we all know, that's the driving force behind record companies. However, a lot of times when there is a B-side or some obscure track that we'd like to record, they end up coming out in import singles. Because still over in the UK and in Europe, people, I think, are put a little bit more emphasis on music as being a genuine art form instead of being a commodity
Product. Yeah. Yeah. It always doesn't seem right when they refer to a song, i.e. a piece of art, as product.
Yeah.
Somehow the two...